Story time.
Story time with
It's story time with Miq. Story time with Miq.
Story time with Miq.
Story time with Miq. Story time with Miq. Story time.
I had a question for you
Oh, you
about
do?
Nightmare on Elm Street 4,
Okay.
and you might know the answer.
Are you
maybe
returning?
not.
Is this returning to a question that would tie into episode 23?
Episode 23, where we did Bright,
Right, where we did Bright and
and
Nightmare
we had
on
a
Elm
story
Street.
of
And we-
Nightmare on Elm
we
Street
had a
4.
and it was about the truck, right?
The truck that ran into nothing,
The truck that ran into nothing.
which is actually pretty amazing when you see the truck crumple
It is.
up.
It is. I personally, it is one of my favorite effects.
So I pulled out my DVD, and
Yeah.
I looked it up. Yeah, old school DVD. I
You
know.
did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I pulled it up, and I actually looked for that scene, and I watched it, and I noticed something I didn't notice before. But now that I know, it's probably because I know the story now.
Right.
But the cable that
cable.
was behind the truck was very visible. And I was
It
like,
was very visible.
why didn't they frame it to where they cut it out? Because they couldn't CGI it, probably.
Well, here's the problem. The problem is a matter of time. Okay, we were humping to get this thing out, and
wasn't there a writer strike that was?
it was
that's
in
right.
the middle of a writer's strike.
Which actually, this is probably one of the better written ones.
Yeah, funny that.
So anyway, I had to get that in there.
How does the expression go? It was written so well that even a great director couldn't screw it up. So,
Right.
yeah, you know what? I want to say that I have an explanation for that cable being there, and it certainly was my idea from the very beginning. But I have to say, yeah, it's pretty apparent, and we probably didn't have any time to deal with removing it.
Well, I'm talking about like framing. Like, couldn't they do something in editing? Maybe like, you know what I mean? Frame it differently.
Framing it, no.
No, I guess back then.
I don't. You
I was
know
trying to
what?
think of the technology.
Honestly, somebody had to have looked at it and said, "It really doesn't matter, and we have to get this mother
Let's move
out.
on."
We
Yeah.
have to move on." Because honestly, we were under the gun. We had shot longer than we were supposed to. The release date was coming up, and we were fighting. We were trying to be in between. The release date was supposed to be in between different things. And I don't know what it was that was showing at the time, but we had figured a release date that would have been just us,
Yeah.
you know, and we were aiming for it, and we were going to make it.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've seen the movie like I don't know how many times.
And you didn't notice it, right?
And I never noticed it. So I hope I'm not ruining it for somebody out there.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, sometimes...
But actually, I can see it now, and I appreciate
Yeah.
it because I know how it's done. And I mean, it's like I told you, you almost ruined that scene for me with the snake in Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
right.
But now I appreciate it that I know how that was done. So,
Well, that's, you know what, yeah, now you're getting to the point of being like me.
yeah.
I kind of, I appreciate the sausage.
It's like I've worked in radio and TV, and I can say that it's not as glamorous as it seems from the outside. It's probably the same way we film.
Oh, yeah. You know what? The thing is, the really long hours, you know,
Yeah.
and it's super demanding.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be. You have these moments where everybody is standing around, and if you screw up, you have a crew of 90 people and film and everybody else's problems and and location problems, and it's an enormous algebraic equation. You know, this is what I've always said about film. Making a film never involves one thing that's really, really complicated. It just involves a lot of things.
Yes.
You know, and your work. So it's like algebra that you're trying to reduce from this ridiculous, enormous equation, and it, no matter how hard you try and reduce it, it keeps getting bigger, and that's what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with any one super hyper complicated thing. You're just dealing with a lot of things that have to happen in a super order. I mean, one of the things that people used to say to me is that, oh, working on film, you just stand around all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Which is crap. You know, it's, but certainly the perception of it is that you're just standing around.
Right.
You know, because that one thing that somebody would recognize as an important thing to do is going to happen only once every 45 minutes or so.
Right. Yeah.
They just don't understand everything else.
A lot of work goes into it before it happens.
Yeah, because you have your turn.
Yeah.
You go in with your turn. And the thing is you're working special effects.
It's like a performance, really. You're getting ready for it.
Yeah,
you
that's right.
Basically,
Yeah.
you have one shot, especially in the special effects area, probably.
Yeah, and you have to. And the thing is when everything goes fucking wrong, you have to look at it and say, "I saw what went wrong, and I can fix that." And you have to do it with utter confidence.
Yes.
Because then, you're oh, no problem. I got it. I saw it, even if you didn't see it.
Yeah.
Even if you know deep inside that you're going to watch it probably 2 more times fail before you're going to figure it out, because you're narrowing it down. And the thing is in the end, it isn't always going to work anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be a little bit stressful. You know what? And the thing is, after a while, you have to understand that you're standing around, and one way or the other, you have to be there for between 14 and 18 hours every day. And the stress level is high, and
there's a lot of people that are all stressed out too. I mean,
well, especially at the beginning of the 80s, we had a tendency to be called back on a 6-hour turnaround, and I think it was probably in '88 or so.
Sleep in your car.
Well, it got to be that, yeah. The problem was that people were sleeping in their cars while they were driving home, and in '88, I think we lost, maybe over the period of 6 months, I think 4 crew members died driving home.
Wow, that's bad.
And that caused a whole new string of laws to be enacted.
Like a budget for like hotels or something. I mean,
turnaround
times.
Turnaround times were fixed at 10 hours,
Yeah.
so that no matter how long you work, you had to have 10 hours off and stuff. Yeah, there were all kinds of rules, and of course all kinds of ways to get around them. But at the same time, yeah. So anyway, what were we talking about?